Welcome to the ACE Project, brought to you by the Literacy Team. Welcome to the ACE Project, brought to you by the Literacy.io team at Texas A&M University. I'm your host, Ashley Stack, also known as Captain Comprehension. We are so excited you'll be joining us on this reading journey and hope you and your child enjoy this time together. So get comfy, rev up your brains, and get ready to think, because we are ready to help you become a comprehension detective. Hi, comprehension detectives. It's Captain Comprehension here, and today we are going to read a passage and use our knowledge of text structures to better comprehend it. We are going to read Too Sick to Go to School, Send in the Robots. Today, we are going to read about a robot that helps a student who is occasionally too sick to attend school. Being too sick to go to school sounds like a major problem. Do you think robots are being used as a possible solution? Maybe? I need your help, detectives, to figure this out. Before we begin, let's go over some important vocabulary words. The first word is chronic. Chronic is when something is happening for a long time or keeps coming back again and again. A synonym or word that means the same is recurring, and an antonym or word that means the opposite is one time. Our second word is remotely. We have probably all know this word pretty well after staying home and having school remotely sometimes. Remotely means something that can be done from a distance. A synonym or word that means the same is far away, and an antonym or word that means the opposite is close by. Our last word is conserving. Conserving means saving or using wisely. A synonym for this might be preserving, and an antonym or word that means the opposite, squandering or wasting. All right, detectives, it's time for us to do our first questions. You're going to pause and text POD03 to 866-903-2545. This will kick off your texting survey. Here's the first question. What does the word chronic mean? A, only once. B, occasional. C, temporary. D, recurrent. Our second vocabulary question is which sentence uses conserving correctly? A, he was conserving water by turning off the faucet. B, there was not a lot left after conserving energy. C, she was conserving her money when she bought a lot of clothes. D, conserving food means you throw a lot away. Text your answers now. All right, it's time for us to read the passage. Are you ready? Too sick to go to school? Send in the robots. During social studies class, Jilly DiStefano acted like any other sixth grader at her school. She was lost in chatter with her good friends Melanie and Katie. Jilly, I like your hair, said Melanie, admiring her friend's neat brown pigtails. Suddenly, their teacher, Melissa Finelli, showed up. Jilly, did you get the classwork I emailed you? Finelli asked. Got it, answered Jilly. Jilly wasn't actually in the classroom. She was a couple of miles away from her school, Octorara Intermediate School in Pennsylvania. She was sitting at her dining room table. Perfect attendant. Her friends and teacher had been talking to her image on an iPad. The tablet was on top of a skinny robot called a perfect attendant. Basically, the device is a pole on wheels that Jilly controls from a computer at home. The high-tech helper is one of more than 1,000 robots in America's classrooms. They are called remote presences or telepresence robots. The robots allow kids like Jilly to go to school remotely. They can take quizzes, goof around with friends, and even go to lunch or on field trips. Sometimes I'm too tired to actually go to school, said Jilly. Since she was very young, Jilly has had an illness that makes her feel very tired. Her body's cells are not able to make energy properly. By third or fourth grade, Jilly was spending more time at home than in class. A teacher came to give her lessons at home. So when the school asked her last year if she would test out the robot, Jilly and her family loved the idea. When she saw it, she said, "Hey, it's cool." Oh my gosh, it looks like me. Paul Sanfrancesco is the Director of Technology at Owen J. Roberts School District. 2 kids in his district use the robots. One just had heart surgery and the other is in the hospital. He said that technology is a natural for the kids. They walk the robot from class to class as if their actual friend were there. They wave to her when she comes down the hall, he said. Students with chronic illnesses won't feel left out. Around the country, some students are using their robots for more than just class time. They might use it to attend school choir practice or go along on field trips. Several years ago, a student in South Carolina dressed up her robot in a tutu and pink ribbons. For Jilly, the robot lets her stay home on the days when she needs to save her strength. That way, she will have enough energy to go to school activities. She doesn't have to miss floor hockey or flute practice, for example. Ashley DeStefano is Jilly's mother. She said conserving energy lets Jilly recover enough to do fun things and be a kid. Jilly loves school, DeStefano said, and she was sad when she had to be taught alone at home. She was just bummed, said DeStefano. She always felt left out. Jilly is an animal lover, and her favorite classes are art and science. Her goal is to become a veterinarian or to rescue sloths in the Amazon rainforest. Sloths are her favorite animal. But first, Jilly has to learn about ancient Egypt in social studies class. She attended the class with her robot at her school desk, while she sat in front of her computer at home. Working with her friends Melanie and Katie, Jilly researched facts about Egypt. The girls chatted, and Jilly made a thumbs-up sign from time to time. Fanelli, their teacher, leaned in to check on their progress. The occasional glitch. Fanelli said there are sometimes glitches with the robot, but overall it has been great for Jilly's schoolwork. A few minutes before class was over, Melanie guided Jilly's bot to her next class. The pair hadn't even reached her desk when a teacher asked, "Jilly, do you have that article printed out yet?" Science class was starting for Jilly, and for her robot too. So let's take a minute to think about the text structure of Too Sick to Go to School. You can use your bookmark. When you're ready, go back to the texting survey to answer the question. Think about it. Did Jilly have a problem? We know being sick a lot is a problem, but how did her illness affect her schooling? How was her problem solved? Think about that and then go back to your texting survey to answer the question. What is the text structure of the passage? A. Comparison. B. Cause and effect. C. Problem and solution. D. Cause, problem, solution. All right, detectives, it's time for us to write our main idea. The main idea sentence stem for the whole selection is the cause is, the problem is, the solution is. When you're ready, write down your cause, your problem, and your solution, and send it into the text survey by going back and texting in your answer. Welcome back, detectives. I found the cause is chronic illness. The problem is Jilly and other students are not always able to attend school and they get lonely. And the solution is using a perfect attendant robot to attend school remotely. How did mine compare to yours? Was it pretty close? Awesome. Let's continue. It's time to answer our multiple choice main idea question. What is the best main idea for the whole selection? A. Robots help students who are too sick to attend school still feel connected to their school and friends. B. 2 students at Owen J. Roberts School District use robots to attend school virtually. C. Jilly DeStefano uses a perfect attendant to attend class because her cells do not make energy properly. D. Students who are not able to attend school begin to feel left out and miss their friends. Remember to use your main idea statement to find the answer choice that is the best main idea. Pause your video and go back to the texting survey to answer that question. Awesome job, detectives. Now it's time to take our main idea and add in a few important details to support that main idea. That will help us to write our summary. So remember, we're going back to our main idea statement. The cause is chronic illness. The problem is Jilly and other students are not always able to attend school, and they get lonely. The solution is using a perfect attendant robot to attend school remotely. Think about a detail that might go with chronic illness. Why is chronic illness a cause of a problem? How does it affect Jilly? If the problem is that they're not always able to attend school and they get lonely, can you give me any details that go along with that? Describe this robot for me. How does it help them? All right, time to compare our summaries. I wrote the cause is chronic illness, which keeps students from attending school. The problem is Jilly and the other students are not always able to attend school or any of school activities, and they get lonely. The solution is using a high-tech robot called the Perfect Attendant to attend school remotely and help students to stay connected to school and friends safely from home. Great job, detectives. Let's continue by answering a multiple choice summary question. Here we go. What is the best summary? A. The Perfect Attendant allows students like Jilly to go to school remotely. The robot goes from class to class, just as if Jilly were there. Some students use it for out-of-school activities. B. Remote presence robots allow students to attend school remotely. They can also use the robots to attend out-of-school activities. The robots help students feel connected to school and friends. C. In the U.S., 1,000 robots will allow students to attend class online. Sometimes there are glitches, but they can use the robots to take quizzes and participate. Students can use the robots out of class. D. Jilly can spend the school day with her friends. She has a robot that goes to school for her. Jilly was missing a lot of school since her cells do not make enough energy. The robot keeps her connected. All right, make sure to go back to your main idea statement and your summary that we wrote in order to choose the best summary from these. Pause your video when you're ready and answer the next question in the texting survey. It's time for us to infer, detectives. Are you ready? Let's go. Remember, when we infer, we use clues from what we read, we add it together with what we already know, and we make our inference. All right, detectives, what can we infer? What can the reader infer about Jilly? What can the reader infer might happen when the robot glitches? I want you to discuss these questions with your parent, and then I'll read you the multiple choice question. What can the reader infer about Jilly? A. She does not like school. B. She enjoys science class. C. She still feels left out. D. She enjoys using the Perfect Attendant. What can the reader infer might happen when the robot glitches? A. One of the students is playing a trick on the teacher. B. The student is unable to attend class that day. C. Students must wait for a new one. D. The student gets more time to talk to their friends. Pause your video and go back to your texting survey to answer these two questions. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Comprehension Detectives. I hope you enjoyed Too Sick to Go to School, Send in the Robots. I cannot wait to join you again next week. Remember, we can all be super readers. Parents, want to see this strategy in action? Parents, want to see this strategy in action? Click the link in the show notes. Parents, want to see this strategy in action? Click the link in the show notes to watch or listen to a clip of one of our literacy team members working with their own child using this strategy.